We all know that feeling, right? Being completely and totally overloaded. But what if the cause isn't some kind of personal failure? What if it's actually an architectural problem? In this explainer, we are going to dive into a completely different way to understand and maybe even solve that constant pressure of modern life. Do you ever feel like you're just reacting to everything, constantly on edge or just totally running on fumes? You are so not alone. But what if the reason for all that isn't about your willpower, but about your fundamental design? And this right here, this is the core idea we're digging into. We're reframing the whole struggle. Burnout isn't a sign that you aren't trying hard enough. No way. It's a signal that your system's structure is overloaded. And that is a really powerful shift in perspective. So, to understand why a structure is strained, you first have to look at its blueprint, right? Well, human architecture is a model that gives us that map. It shows us how our systems are built, how they're supposed to function, and how we can bring them back into alignment. According to this model, every single human experience, everything you feel, think, and do, is organized through three fundamental and, well, universal layers of architecture. You can think of them as the foundation, the walls, and the roof of your own personal system. These are the three layers: the baseline within, the baseline between, and the baseline around. Just think of them as three interconnected systems that, together, shape your entire experience of reality. So let's break down what each one actually does. Okay, our starting point is the baseline within. This is your internal world. It's your physical stress levels, your emotions, the stories you tell yourself inside your head. You know that gut feeling, the tension in your shoulders, the thoughts just racing around? That's it. It's the foundation of how you actually feel inside your own skin. Next up, we've got the baseline between. This is our relational world. And it's not just about the words you say. It's the unspoken signals, the roles you play as a parent, a friend, a coworker. It's your ability to connect with others without completely losing yourself. Basically, it governs how you show up with other people. And finally, there's the baseline around. This is all about your physical and contextual world. It's the buzz of the office lights, the endless notifications on your phone, the rhythm of your daily schedule, even the societal pressures you face. It's the total demand your environment puts on your system. Okay, so we have our blueprint, within, between, and around. Now for the diagnostic tool. How do we explain why that structure sometimes feels like it's cracking? This brings us to a really crucial principle called the law of load. And this is it, the law of load. It's actually pretty simple. Just like a bridge has a weight limit, your personal architecture has a capacity limit. This isn't a moral law, it's a structural one. And when the total demand on your system goes past its threshold, things start to get distorted. It's like a law of physics for your own body. So what does this load actually look like? Well, you have to think of it as cumulative. It all adds up. The load within might be your own physiological stress from not sleeping well. The load between could be the demand of a really difficult conversation. And the load around is the pressure of a deadline mixed with a noisy office. See? It all just stacks on top of each other. And this brings us to the most important point. What happens when that cumulative load pushes us past our threshold? The system doesn't just stop working, it starts distorting. Let's take a look at what that actually means. This lays it out perfectly. When you're operating below your threshold, your system is in coherence. You experience clarity, you feel steady, but when that load gets too high, you tip over into distortion. And that's where you feel that reactivity, that overwhelm, and where your system starts adopting these weird compensatory patterns just to try and cope. And that's such a critical point. Those compensatory patterns, being irritable or withdrawn or anxious, they are not signs that you're broken. They are your system's intelligent, adaptive attempt to survive an overwhelming amount of load. It's a survival strategy, not a character flaw. So if being overloaded is an architectural problem, how do we fix it? Well, we need a renovation plan, a way to guide the system out of that state of distortion and back into coherence. Here's how it works. So the practical application here is called the baseline method. It's a 3-step process. First, reset. This is about actively restoring your internal state to reduce that physiological load. Could be as simple as deep breathing or just taking one quiet minute for yourself. Second, realign. Here, you intentionally reorganize your relationships and your environment to decrease those external demands. It could be as simple as turning off notifications or setting a boundary. And finally, recover. This is the process of rebuilding your system's capacity and resilience over time so you can handle future load without tipping back into distortion. And I love this point because it's such a profound shift. This isn't about hacking your way to peak performance or trying to optimize every single second of your day. It's about achieving a state of coherence, a stable, steady alignment where your system can respond to life with clarity instead of just reacting to it all the time. So let's just end with this question. Instead of just pushing harder all the time, what if you took a step back and actually examined your own blueprint? What if you focused on managing the load and rebuilding your capacity? By shifting from sheer effort to smart architecture, you might just find a much more sustainable path back to feeling like yourself again.